Okay, this is the homework for 6.1. Hopefully it helps out a little bit. It says, out of the 500 flowers, 65 are roses. What percent of the flowers are roses? You should start right off by saying that there's 65 part over 500 total. And you're trying to find the percentage. The easiest way to do this one is to set an equal to 100. We're dividing by 5. And divide by 5. And 65 divided by 5 is going to be 13. So 13% are roses. Of the 200 packages of bagels sold, 15 of them are sesame seed bagels. What percent of the bagels sold are sesame seed bagels? Again, you take your part, which is 15, out of 200, and set it equal to 100. Now, we know that we have to divide by 2, and then we have to divide 15 by 2. 15 divided by 2 is going to be 7 1/2. So it's 7 1/2%. In a survey of musical preferences, 81 out of 450 students said that they preferred country music. So 81 out of 450 equals how many 100s? Now, this gets a little tricky. I know that 9 goes into them both, and I'm going to reduce it down just to make my life easier. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 9. So 81 divided by 9 is 9. And 450 divided by 9 is going to be 50. That makes it a lot easier to work with. And then we get 100. So we times 2 times 2. And you get 18 out of 100, which is 18%. The other way you could have done this real quickly is 81 times 100 is 8,100 divided by 45. And just to double check, still equals, 450, and that's going to be 18% also. Okay, this one's a little more complicated. It says there's 750 spectators in a stadium. There are 420 of them are women, the rest are men. What percent of the spectators are women? So you have to take 750 and subtract 420 out to figure out how many were just women. You're going to get 330. It's not our percentage though. Then we got to put that over the total, which is 330 over 750, and set that equal to 100. Now, I would crisscross divide here right away. And 330 times 100, you're going to get 33,000. And 33,000 divided by 750 equals 44, and that's going to be 44%. Now, you could have reduced that down and you would have had 33/75, but you're still going to run into the same problem because 75 doesn't go evenly into 100, so I just did the crisscross divide right away. So, part A is going to be 44%. Now, 44%. With that given, you could then say that the rest have to be men. So 100 minus 44% gives you 56% are men. Okay, these are a lot easier. Express each percent as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. So you have 65 out of 100, because it's a percent. And if you reduce that correctly, you're going to get 13/20. Next one is 78/100. If you reduce that correctly down, you're going to get 39/50. And the next one is going to be 92/100, and that reduces down to 23/25. And I went back and circled them all. Next, again, same thing, set it up over 100 for each of these. So 125% is going to be 125 over 100. 276 is going to be over 100, and 580 over 100. That's going to equal 1 1/4. 276 over 100 is going to equal 2 19/25. And 580 over 100 reduces down to 5 4/5. Okay. Express each percent as a decimal. If you were going from a percent to a decimal, you're moving left on the alphabet. Just think of this as an alphabet. D is going to be before P, so you're going to be moving your decimal 2 places to the left. So we have 6%. I had a bunch of zeros to the front just because it looks fun, and then we move it 1, 2, oops, right here, so it's 0.06. 43%, add some zeros, move our decimal 1, 2, you get 0.043. 80%, add some zeros, move 1, 2, you get 0.8. Again, if you're going from a percent to a decimal, move 2 places to the left. Same thing here, we get 367. The decimal is always at the end, move it 2 places to the left. You get 3 67/100. 579, 1, 2. You get 5.79, 779%. Move it 2 places to the left, 1, 2. You get 7 79/100. Okay, this one says the music in Nadia's dance routine lasts exactly 4 minutes. When Nadia dances her routine, she starts with her music, so she starts right at the beginning, and finishes 12 seconds before the music ends. What percent of the time the music is playing is Nadia dancing? Well, first you got to figure out how many seconds she's dancing. So we have 4 minutes, and 4 times 60 is going to be 240 seconds. So take 240, and we subtract 12 out from that. That's going to give you your total time dancing. That's going to be 228 seconds. So 228 seconds out of a total of 240 is what percentage? Now you could crisscross divide this and you could automatically get the answer. I would probably reduce first. And if you use 12 for both of them, you're going to end up with 19/20. Again, if you divide both the numerator and the denominator by 12. Now you could have reduced all the way down. Going step by step by step, I just took the GCF and went from there. Equals how many hundredths? Well, times this by 5, times this by 5. You're going to end up with 95/100ths, or 95%. In a game of darts, Annie hits the bullseye 4 out of 25 times. Benjamin hits the bullseye 8 out of 100 times. Who hits the bullseye more times? It's kind of a weighted question. 4 out of 25 means that he hit it 4 times, and Benjamin hits it 8 times. So you could legitimately just say Benjamin. So I would write down Ben hits the bullseye more times. Because he did. He hit it 8 out of 100, even though he took more times. Now, whose aim is more accurate? Well, 4 out of 25 gives you a percentage that's much higher than the other one. So 25 times 4 times 4, you get 16. So Annie is 16%. Ben is 8 out of 100, which is just 8%. So Ben gets 8%. So the answer is going to be Annie, because she hits 16% of the time, whereas Ben only hits 8% of the time. You're going to have to justify that by making it into a complete sentence, though. I'm not doing that for you. Okay, I have an answer key that goes with this, but I still did the work. Of the 400 vehicles that pass an intersection, 98 are buses. What percent of the vehicles that pass the intersection are buses? So you have 98 out of 400. The book says just to multiply it by 100%, which is fine. I like setting it up as a ratio, so we have 98 over 400 equals what over 100? You'd have to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 4, and you'll still get 24.5%. Okay, of the 400 students at a basketball game, 180 are girls, the rest are boys. What percentage of the students at the basketball games are boys? So you take boys. We have 400 total. We take out the girls, which is 180. It means you have 220 boys. Now, the book takes it 220 over 400. You could automatically get 55%. If you divide 220 by 400, you get 55. You get 0.55. Then multiply it by 100 and you get 55%. But I like doing this because it shows a relationship. I said 220 over 400 equals 55 over 100. Then divide both by 4 and I still get 55%. Okay, out of 30 questions, Ahmad answered 12 of them incorrectly. What percent of the questions did he answer correctly? You have to figure out how many he did correctly. So we did 30 minus 12 equals 18. So I did 30 times 3 1/3 because I knew that 30 goes into 100 3 1/3 times. Then you multiply the numerator by the same, and you're going to end up with 60. So it's still 60%. Okay, Hannah bakes 12 blueberry muffins, 20 bran muffins, and 8 apple muffins. What percent of the muffins are blueberry? You add them all up to get 40 total. Set it equal to 100, and 12 is the number of blueberry muffins there were. Now, I reduced down to 3/10 and then made it easier to get into a percentage. I multiplied both the numerator and the denominator by 10. You get 30 out of 100, which is 30%. Okay, the table shows the number of books sold at a book sale. Monday was 23, Tuesday was 40, Wednesday was 28, Thursday was 52, and Friday was 77. What percent of the total books were sold on Friday? You have to total them up, you get 220. Then you go back to 77, plug it in. Now, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to put 220 into 100. So I divided both by 11. So 77 divided by 11 is 7. 220 divided by 11 equals 20. Then I multiply both by 5 to make it equivalent to 100, and you get 35 out of 100, which is 35%. Hope this helps. Have a good one, guys.